It's a new year, and I am all about improvement. Well, you might have noticed a few picture frames showing up in the backgrounds of my shots. Well, those picture frames contain all sorts of random thrift art that I picked up in 2023. I even finished and sold a few of them, but I still have 6 left. So today, I'm going to see if I can give these works a new life and see if I can get rid of them. I don't even know if I have enough room to do all of these. I don't really have any current plans for what I'm going to paint yet, so I'm going to start by taking photos of each artwork. I decided for the photo shoot, I would just leave them in the frame so I could keep those in mind while creating the artwork. So last night, I posted the pictures to my social media accounts to see if my audience had any suggestions for me, and here's what they came up with. Calvin and Hobbes, a ghost, Goku and Piccolo driving a car, zombies, a post-apocalyptic cyborg war, Lovecraftian monsters, The Amazing World of Gumball, Chowder, Godzilla, a Mars Attacks alien, robots or a Jim Henson character, murder investigation. Alright. What do we got? Dear Mother of God. An alien encounter, some Pokemon, animal enemies from the Zelda games, or a steampunk ship. A portal exposing an underwater world, kaiju fight, Mothman, a troll, tanks, Mario or Luigi from Mario Golf, Happy Gilmore, gremlins, a blue turtle shell, fast food or snack cakes, swans with swords and armor, fairies, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm not really sure which of these I'm going to use yet, but these are really good suggestions. Thank you all for submitting these ideas. Let's see what we can come up with. Once I have all the photos, I can bring them into a program called Sketchbook, where I can create a layer over top of the original artwork and brainstorm ideas before I actually paint on them. Because these are most likely prints. That means the surface is going to be very sensitive, and once it's damaged, it can be very hard to fix. And it was at this point that I realized it would have been much better to take the photos out of their frames, because it might be harder to line up the outlines, but I didn't want to start over. For the first painting, I selected a Jim Henson character submitted by Heather Horner. I've done a few Kermit the Frog paintings, so it's probably no surprise to my audience that I would choose to do them again. Maybe next time, I'll go with my favorite Muppets character, which is actually Gonzo. With such an amazing cast of lovable creatures, it's hard to decide. For the second painting, I selected Zombies, submitted by Ashley Nicole. It took a long time to figure out which suggestions I wanted to use, and how I would create the composition. But after reading the list for a while, the word zombies reminded me of some Black Ops Zombies paintings I had seen online. So this one is inspired by 2 artists I've seen on Instagram, Logan Cade McDonald and Amadeus Chavez. Go check out their work because they are phenomenal artists as well. I used to play Call of Duty Black Ops 1 all the time when I was about 17 to 20. In fact, this is kind of full circle. I came up with a gamer tag on the PS3 at that time, which I evolved into my artist name years later. Now that the outlines are finally finished, I can transfer those over to my computer and then project them onto the thrift art and then trace the outlines in pencil. But first, I need to take these out of their frames. With all of the outlines prepared, I'm finally ready to start painting. These days, there are so many artists, the good pieces are hard to find. Some of these pieces came from Goodwill and the Salvation Army, but you can also find thrifted pieces at your nearest antique store. Those places are always full of surprises. Sometimes they are prints like the ones I have in this series, but you can also run into genuine thrifted paintings. You'll find that they are almost never framed the same way. Variations of staples, screws, nails, glue, inserts, plastic frames, wooden frames, the list goes on. It's a very hands-on experience before you even get to the painting part. I chose Kermit for this painting because I absolutely love the world created by Jim Henson. Even if they're not real, personality and creativity make the Muppets feel larger than life. Thanks to all the great suggestions from my audience, this has become a collaboration between us and a somewhat forced collaboration with whoever originally created these images. The ideas and skills transcend years of creativity, and it's cool to be able to document that process. Although, not all of the pieces have information on them, so it's hard to know exactly what journey they've been on. You already know I have a soft spot for the original Black Ops zombies, and that is how I choose my subject material. After reading the audience suggestions, I was slowly able to start coming up with ways that these prompts could mean something to me. In fact, there were a lot of gaming suggestions on the list, and I should have expected that. Most thrift art out there is fan art, and some of it is really good. Much like the fan art you see at comic conventions, Marvel, DC, Nintendo, Pokemon, you name it. Which begs the question, is that legal? The simple answer is, it's not legal. You're not allowed to produce images, logos, characters, or IP subjects that are governed by their individual copyrights. But here's the not so simple answer. Think about those convention artists. They're not getting in trouble. Some of the bigger artist names have permission to create works with these IPs, but the majority of us don't. There are billions of artists doing this. But it's not like the original creators are losing money. If anything, us artists are spreading awareness for our love of the characters and stories. I once heard it put like this. How do you think artists get to work with Disney and Marvel without a degree or connections? I myself enjoy making fan art, even if I avoid it, but I'll cover that more in the next video. So here are the first two paintings we came up with for this series. I really like how they turned out, and honestly, I wish I could keep them. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. In the next video, we're going to cover more topics, we're going to do the next two paintings, and by the end, I'll show you how I sell them and how much you can make from doing one of these projects. And the Dragon Ball Z painting sold for $50, so we've already made our money back. Stay creative, folks.